Let's start. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this webinar of the MaJoR Cascade funding call. So welcome. I'm very pleased by the amount of person who registered. Thank you very much. So today for 1 hour and a half, we will discuss obviously about this Cascade funding scheme within the MaJoR program. We will articulate our presentation around three main parts. So the first part will be from Marcel Bos from NLR, the Netherlands Aerospace Center. So he will present you the MaJoR program, the MaJoR research program, and also the Cascade funding scheme within this program. Then Julien Toussaint from Ignity, he will present the technical topic. So the technical topic being all the technology and innovation we are looking for in this Cascade funding, all the technology that you could propose. And as for myself, Matthew Lyons from ELUP, I will describe all the processes, so all the eligible criteria, all the submission process, and all the submission process. So let's begin today. We will have a Q&A session at the end. So as I said, we are about 100 right now and 200 people register. So we propose to have the Q&A in the form of a chat. It will be more convenient and more easy to handle. So at the end of the presentation, you can use the chat and then we will answer your questions. We'll come to that in a moment. Then also be aware that this is recorded and the replay will be posted on the MaJoR website. Oops, next slide for me. A little bit of a disclaimer. So just for everybody to understand, this webinar is for, let's say, to help you to information purposes. Be aware that two documents, the first one is a Cascade funding condition, and the second one, the sub-grant agreement, are, let's say, the legal document, the binding document. So if you have questions, this is in those documents that you shall find the final answer. If in case you find discrepancy between the messages, those documents are the basics. So now I will pass the floor to Marcel. I try to click up, please.
Okay. Yes, as Mathieu said, my name is Marcel Bos. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes.
Since 2 weeks, I'm the coordinator of the MaJoR project. Before that, I was department manager at NLR, the Royal Netherlands Aerospace Center, and where I still work actually. And I was already involved somewhat with the project, but since 2 weeks, I'm now the official coordinator, and I'll take you through the project, provide you with some details, and after that, more details will be given by Julien on the actual contents of what we are talking about now. So if you please continue, Mathieu. So the MaJoR is a very large European project. It has been granted by the European Commission under the European Defence Fund. I believe it's the largest, or at least one of the largest EDF programs ever. So it's very ambitious. The management of the program from the European perspective is done by the European Defence Agency. The Commission has entrusted the EDA to do this. And the full title of the project is Maintenance, Joining and Repair Innovation in Multi-Domain Defense, multi-domain defense. And the term multi-domain in this respect refers to air, land and sea. And the project has three main objectives. The first objective is to reduce the cost, the weight, the lead time and the signature of air, land and sea vehicles, and also to increase their space efficiency and the availability of the vehicles. And these improvements will be demonstrated on three prototype platforms, so one for each domain, with variants to accommodate multiple functions, technologies. And the outcomes of the Innovation Tech Watch will be included here. And what I mean here is the outcome of the projects that will be funded in the open call that we are discussing right now. The second objective is to develop enabling technologies from TRL3 to TRL6 and demonstrate them in relevant testing environments, and I'll explain that later on. And the third objective is to establish an innovation tech watch that searches for promising related technologies. This is strictly for small to medium enterprises, including startups. And it will provide access to funding and facility through this very Cascade funding open call that we are now discussing. So next, please, MaJoR. And of course, we want to make an impact with MaJoR, and this impact that we want to make is manifold. First of all, we want to mature maintenance, joining, and repair technologies. We want to increase the lifetime of defense systems. We want to reduce the operating costs, the maintenance costs, and the repair costs, and with an eye for increased sustainability and a reduction of the environmental footprint. And in addition, and that's what we're talking about now in this webinar, we want to support and accelerate SMEs and startups in the European defense. And doing so, provide cross-fertilization across the various domains, air, sea, and land, across industries and across nations. And we aim to consolidate the best practices across the three domains and facilitate this cross-industry collaboration to enable companies to expand into non-traditional areas. So next, please. And the project, in a nutshell, as I said, it's a fairly large project, more than nearly 47 million euros total budget, of which the EDF grant amounts to 30 million euros, which includes more than 3 million euro for financial support to third parties, or in other words, for Cascade funding. The project lasts 3.5 years, and we started last September, so the first half year or nearly is nearly completed. If you want more information, you can find it on our website. It's MaJoR-project.eu, so please visit the website if you want to have more details. A big project as this consists of 35 beneficiaries and 3 affiliates across 10 nations: Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, and Sweden. This does not mean that SMEs from other European countries or Norway or Ukraine cannot participate in this Cascade funding project, but these at least are the nations that are part of the project. There's an interesting graph there. I really can't see it. I'm colorblind, but for those of you who are not colorblind, it provides the division of the funding over the different countries. I won't go into that for here. So please, MaJoR, if you would go to the next slide. Just a graph showing all the countries and all the companies that are involved. As I said, 35 beneficiaries, 3 affiliates, 10 different countries. I'm not reading the whole list of participants to you, but it's worth noting there are a number of large OEMs or original equipment manufacturers involved, including Rheinmetall in Germany, Airbus Defence and Space in Germany, and Damen shipyards in the Netherlands. And we also have a number of small and medium-sized enterprises on board. In the Netherlands, we have Solico, Holland Composites, 2MV Composites, and Vabo. In Germany, it's Nordmetall. In France, it's ELAB. And in Norway, it's Vireco and Light Structures. Yes, please go ahead. Well, as I said, I'm the project coordinator. I work with NLR in the Netherlands. And the 3 domains each have a lead. Airbus Defence and Space is leading the air domain. Damen is leading the sea domain, and Rheinmetall is leading the land domain. And each of the domains will coordinate or will produce a demonstrator. And if you would go to the next slide, MaJoR. These demonstrators consist of a fuselage of a large unmanned aerial vehicle for the air domain. For the sea domain, it's the mast structure of a ship, which is a multifunctional structure which incorporates a multitude of sensors like radar, infrared sensors, whatever. So it's really a multifunctional structure. For the land domain, we're looking at the cabin of a logistics support vehicle. So please go ahead. And there are a number of technologies we're targeting for the Cascade funding open calls. I'm not going to dive into them here, since my colleague Julien Toussaint from Ignity will dive deeper into them. But I would only like to stress here that we aim to develop enabling technologies that you, as SMEs, will bring from TRL 3 to TRL 6 and demonstrate them in relevant testing environments. And if you're not familiar with the term TRL means technology readiness level. And it's typically, it ranges, the levels range from 1 to 9. And these levels are used to assess the maturity of technologies, ranging from basic principles at TRL 1 to proven mission-ready systems at TRL 9. And what we are looking at here in this particular funding scheme is bringing the technology from TRL 3, which is a proof of concept of critical functions, either analytically or in a lab environment, through TRL 4, which is a lab validation, a laboratory validation of basic components, to TRL 5, which is technology validation in a simulated but relevant environment, up to TRL 6, which means a prototype demonstration in a relevant environment. So if you would go to the next slide and probably skip that one as well. I would provide some more details about the Cascade funding, which provides the financial support to third parties. So please, the next slide. The Cascade funding open calls are related to the third objective of MaJoR, namely to establish an innovation tech watch that searches for promising related technologies for small to medium enterprises, including startups. And it will provide access to funding and facilities through this Cascade funding open call. So a summary is that we'll have 2 open calls for SMEs. They will be organized. We're talking about the first open call now. Each call will have a maximum of 30 recipients per call. So over the 2 calls, we'll have a total of 60 recipients. The call is published as a call in the EU funding and tender portal, which is only an announcement, but also on the MaJoR website, where you can submit your application. And more details will be provided later by Mathieu. Very important in this funding scheme is it will also provide technical mentoring and support to SMEs, including the startups, and Julien will talk about that. And of course, the topics that you will bring in must align with the main MaJoR topics, namely maintenance, joining, and repair. So please go ahead. The duration of each of the projects, of each of the 60 projects, is 6 months maximum. And the grant is a maximum of 60,000 euros per recipient. It's 100% funding rate, so you don't have to bring your own money. It's a lump sum form of grant. I'll come to that later. And the payment of the grant has to meet, of course, certain conditions like submission of the deliverables and attendance to the training sessions, which we consider very important. The eligible countries are the 27 EU countries, plus Norway, plus Ukraine. And there has to be the SME, including the startups, have to comply with the EU definition of micro, small, and medium enterprise. I will come to that later. Julie or Mathieu will provide this definition. And the application has to be submitted in English, a maximum of 5 pages in PDF, but more details will be provided on Mathieu as well. Please go ahead. The timeline is as follows. It's a small print. I hope you can see it. The first open call, which we are discussing now, well, we have the webinar today. Tomorrow, the call will open. It will be published on the MaJoR website and on the Finance and Tender portal of the EU. And the deadline to apply is the 25th of March this year. In April, we'll do an eligibility check in which you check whether the application is eligible at all, so whether you comply with all the rules that we have. After that, we'll dive into it and do a technical evaluation, and followed by interviews of the selected participants. And once we establish the list of eligible participants, the selected participants will communicate the results on the website and the FNT portal in June 2026, after which the sub-projects will start, and they will run up to February 2027. And in late this year, we'll repeat this process and we'll open the second call and we'll go through the whole process again. So please go ahead. Well, the status where we are now is today's webinar, which we are having now. Tomorrow the call will open, and as I said, the deadline to apply is the 25th of March at noon Central European time. So that brings me to the end of my presentation, and I would give Julien the word now.
Thank you, Marcel. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Julien Toussaint, I'm from Magneti. We operationalize several acceleration program in defense, including UDIS, business acceleration program, and the Diana NATO program. So here I'm going to present the technical topic, which is the most technical part of the day regarding what we expected from you in terms of technology. On the next slide, Mathieu. So we have designed 5 high-level topics related to the objective that you're trying to aim throughout this project. All those topics will be also cross-domain, so that is a specificity also from our project. Everything will be details in the technical topics that will be available on the website later on. On the next slide, Mathieu. Yes, thank you. So the first topic is related to hybrid structure for defense platforms. So the idea is really to find a new type of material that are critical for the next generation in the air, land, and naval platform. Of course, we expect those materials to be operationalized in extreme defense conditions, ranging from -55 degrees, with a high level of humidity and salt, some electromagnetic compatibility, and some resistance to shock and blast conditions. The idea is really to develop a robust, predictable, and repair hybrid interface, enabling the weight reductions, the mission adaptability, and the long-term performance across the defense platform. What we are looking for in terms of innovation focus is the new type of novel multi-material combinations, which include some hybrid joining concept, some advanced surface preparation, some corrosion and galvanic mitigation, as you can imagine, some neck gains in terms of adhesive and interlayer, which includes also some temperature and electric or bio-based solutions, reversible bonding and design for disassembly in order to have sustainable solution, and eventually some AI-assisted design simulation and optimization for this one. On the next slide. So in terms of operational constraints, so in the air domain, it's really regarding the temperature range, so going down up to -55 degrees. We expect that some galvanic corrosion, humidity, salt exposure. As such, we expect the same level of resistance, but that also includes some electromagnetic compatibility given the systems that are currently at sea, but also some fire and smoke and toxicity compliance to ensure the viability of the solution. Regarding the land, we are looking more for shock and blast and ballistic resistance and on-site repair capabilities. So the expected outcome on this first topic is really a validated hybrid interface, eventually some potential prototype ready for unmanned aerial vehicle fuselage, and all of those elements could contribute to the EU strategic autonomy, but include some certifiable hybrid structures. Illustrative use case scenario, you can imagine some never sealed composite joint or low temperature NM aerial vehicle skin bonding, or some impact-resistant hybrid armored vehicle structures. On the next slide. The previous one. Thank you, Mathieu. So on the second topic is more related to everything related to innovative joining technology and automated process. So here we are really looking for to de-risk all the operational, including this type of topic. So we develop an automate contamination tolerant joining process for material assemblies, delivering repeatability, real-time quality control, damage tolerance, joint compatible with harsh defense environment. Again, here really looking for new type of enhanced joining technology in terms of bonding, hybrid, or reinforced interface, automotive adhesive and sealants applications, rack joint solutions for remote harsh or off-grid operation, of course, high fatigue or high load joints, so that includes some dynamic approach of the material. Naturally, some dust-free or acceleration clearing, which includes some UV or electrical fast curing adhesive. You could expect, in terms of innovation focus, some digital twin, AI-driven optimization that you could have, and some local reinforcement to insert those hybrid structure. On the next slide. In terms of operational constraint in the air, we are looking more for a fatigue, predictable join with automatic quality assurance approach of the joining. For the sea, sync bond lives for low curing temperature with, again, IMC compatibility constraint. For land is more related to the dirt, some contamination, but also the dynamic, different from the air, of course, but some vibration, which may include some shock and of course, some field repairing later on. In terms of expected outcome, we look for fully integrated monitoring and quality assurance tools that could help us to validate some joining demonstrator, automated process modules, reducing, of course, the life cycle time, which includes also the repeatability and improve the overall structure performance with some direct applicability to the manufacturing demonstrator. Potential illustrative use cases, you can expect some automated bonding for naval composite structure, AI-assisted bonding, quality assurance for an aerial vehicle, rug bonding for land vehicle armor module. For the third topic on the next slide, we are looking for structural health monitoring and health usage monitoring system, so embedded sensor architecture. Here, the idea is to develop a robust embedded and surface mount sensing architecture that could be cross-domain to continuously monitor or even base structural health assessment at all time. So reducing inspection burden and improving supporting evidence maintenance in demonstrator. So we're really looking for automated inspections for defense structure, which is currently highly costly and risky across a domain. That includes, of course, some informations to ballistic damage, humidity, shock, vibration, or limited power bandwidth constraint. In terms of innovation focus, we are looking for more advanced sensors, which could measure some strain, some acoustic, some ultrasonic or fiber optic elements, also some piezoelectric sensors as well. We're also looking for corrosion moisture sensing with electromagnetic interference and compatibility sensing layers. Some joint structural health monitoring and health usage monitoring for composite and metallic joints, so include both constraint. We're also looking for signature anomalies, so event detections, especially for impact and blast or ballistics situation. Local data processing, which includes some edge analytic for the overall power optimization. And of course, some integration with non-destructive testing data and maintenance system. On the next slide, so in terms of operational constraints, of course, electromagnetic interference and compatibility is a high topic. Limited power, of course, to ensure sustainable operation on the battlefield. Harsh environments across air, land, and naval platform as well. We expect to validate structural health RUMS system architecture prototype during this project, early or more reliable to the damage detections, but also reduce the number of inspection workload and improve the maintenance decisions in operation. Some illustrative use cases, moisture and corrosion are often noted, impact and blast detection, as I mentioned, some bond line and damage monitoring in aerospace composites. On the next slide, for the fourth topic, we are looking for non-destructive testing. So meaning in maintenance, we usually have some slow contamination sensitive and difficult to requalify some of the elements, especially under the field conditions. As such, we expect to, the objective is to enable robust, fast, and field-compatible non-destructive testing, repair, and diagnostic solutions that could reduce the downside, improve repair, repeatability, support, and save requalification on those specific hybrid structure. In terms of innovation focus, we are looking for technology that can support the diagnosis and the decisions for those repair and requalification, to have portable NDTs from online inspections or contamination detections locally, wearable, given the current methods, some fast repairing patch or modular tooling, semi-automatic scarfing, potential some combat field repair solution for degraded environments, which include 3D printed repair patches. Remote maintenance assistance and digital support is also a hot topic. Post-repair and requalification and feedback loop for repair, maintenance, and overall quality insurance. Naturally, obsolescence management for long life platform is also key in this entity. On the next slide, we are looking for, in the operational constraint address for the air, more bond stress management or contamination to the control fatigue and some requalification again. At sea, we are really looking for more humidity, salt exposure, limited onboard space, given the current constraints on the sea platform. For land, again, some shock and vibration, dust, and potential contaminations in field repair. In terms of expected outcome, we are looking for validated repair kit for those NDTs, which include some diagnosis procedures. We reduce also the repair time, and we want to improve the repair reliability, increase confidence in post-repair structural performance at large, and potential some direct applicability to some of the major demonstrator component. Some illustrative use case are the field repair of armored vehicle panels, some rapid bond line inspection on the UAV, and on-board repair on the naval composite mast. And the final topic is more related to the digitalization and AI supporting tool. So the defense platform generate large volume of structural and operational data, but lack of integrations, interoperability, and predictive decision-oriented tool. And that's what we're trying to address here. So we want to really develop an AI-enabled digital twins that can support in terms of decision, the systems that assess the damage severity, anticipate some potential degradations, and some guide repair versus replacement strategy for the platform. In terms of innovation focus, we are looking for digital twins for hybrid and composite structure, some multi-physics simulations, some damage and defect propagations modeling, and some decision supporting for the repair of scenario selection AI-based in predictive maintenance and diagnostics. Naturally, those data are very sensitive, as you can imagine. We are also looking for secure data exchange and cybersecurity for those distributed environment. On the next slide. In terms of operational and constraint in domain, in the air, it's again mostly the fatigue zoning effect, defect propagation, and life predictions. At sea is moisture, corrosion, and thermal degradation modeling. Inland is again shock, impact, and mission-driven damage accumulations. In terms of outcome, we expect some validated digital twin or AI-based diagnostic tool, improve prediction accuracy and decision-making efficiency, and reduce maintenance and life cost of the platform. Potential illustrative use cases are the remaining life of prediction of UAV, potential corrosion forecasting in naval composite masts, or maintenance decision support after shock event in armed vehicle again. On the next slide. So after the topic and during the program, you can expect to have 5 on-site bootcamp. The first one will be held in our facility, in which we're going to deep dive into the defense realm, set the basis of how to actually procure in the defense domain. It will be done in our facility in Belgium. Then we're going to have 3 different boot camp, one on the land, naval, and air focus, directly on site at the domain lead. So for the land with Rheinmetall, for naval with Damen, and ER with Airbus. Each time we will have a dedicated focus moment on those specific domains, depending, of course, on your technology. Finally, we will have a final demonstration day in order to showcase that what you have been able to achieve in this specific program. Also in this program, you can expect to have access, as Marco mentioned, some experts from the defense industry, members of the consortium, so coming also from the domain lead, but also from academia, members of the consortium as well. The idea is to provide you the best advice to ensure the viability and the fruitful development of your product in Europe. You will also receive some experienced founders from different startup and scale up. That's more on our side. We have a dedicated access to experts that have been through the building up the phase of creating their own company in the defense field / dual use, of course. And we also have access to an international innovation industrial network, which may include, of course, some venture capital. This will be really tailored and depending on the needs and the current life stage of your company. Thank you, Mathieu. That's it for me, and happy to respond to your questions.
Thank you, Julien. Thank you, Marcel. So back to me. I'm Matthew Lyons. So I'm a consultant in the French consulting company ELUP. We are specialized in EU project setting up and coordination, and in MaJoR we are, among other things, in charge of the Cascade funding process. So now let's imagine that you are all prepared, all ready. You choose your topic. You want to go. What do you have to know? So the eligibility criteria, the submission and evaluation process. So let's begin. Yes, let's begin. Up. So the eligibility criteria. So here I make the list of the main and only the 9 points that you need to be eligible to. So, and then I will describe it in more detail. But of course, you have to be an entity, a private body being an SME, including startup. So we'll discuss about it. Then you need to be into an eligible country, established in one of the eligible country. You will need to comply with ownership control restriction, comply with the ethics and security requirement, operational and financial capacity requirement, and then ultimately you will need to comply with the specificity of this role and do not have any conflict of interest. All right, let's start with the first one. Be a legal entity. So in this call, we are looking for SMEs and only SMEs. So here you have the, let's say, the criteria of the European Commission to describe what is an SME. So you can refer to this table, or you can also use the SME self-assessment tool, accessible within the link that I put underneath. You can determine yourself if you are characterized as an SME. So only SME will be eligible on this call, as I said. And again, if you are a startup, so for the purpose of this call, we define a startup as being a SME with a maximum of 5 years of existence. So you have to be an SME and including startups. Then you have to be established in one of the eligible countries. So I've seen briefly in the question in the chat about Ukraine. So yes, the eligible country are the EU member states, the 27 EU member states, plus Norway and plus Ukraine. So if you are established in one of those countries, you're eligible. You can also refer to the different text, official text that I put in the bottom. But that's the unique list of eligible countries. Then ownership control restriction. What does it mean? It means that we will exclude the participation of legal entities which are established in EU territory or in the EDF associated country, but entities that are controlled by non-associated third country or non-associated third country legal entities. So if you're established in EU, in the eligible country, but you are controlled by a country that is not an eligible country, you will not be eligible for this call. What does it mean? It means also that later on, you will have to complete the ownership control declaration that is part of the declaration of honor. That's a lot of declaration. You will see later in the different document that we will provide this declaration of honor. So remember that you will need to assess this part through a document that will be sent in the portal. So ethics requirement. You must comply with highest ethic standards like in any European project. To do so, we will give you in the application, in the template, you will see a self-assessment part that you will have to complete to assess yourself about the ethics, different ethics point. So that will be part of the document that you will need to send us. And ultimately, if your project is selected, you will have to adhere to the MaJoR ethics chart through the sub-grant agreement. We'll talk about this in a minute. The fifth point, the security requirement. So there is two things to remember. The first thing that when it comes to security level, you will have to propose technologies, information, everything that corresponds to a sensitive level. We formally call that confidential, or say otherwise, unclassified or non-releasable to the public. Any other level of information or classified, secret, top secret is not allowed in the Cascade funding. Another point, again, you will have to perform the security self-assessment. So again, it's part of the proposal. There is a table like for ethics with several questions. You will have to answer it, and it will be also checked by the consortium. At the end, if you get the grant, you will have to adhere to MaJoR security requirements like for ethics that will be part of the sub-grant agreement. 6. So the operational capacity. The operational capacity is the way is, let's say, you must be qualified to perform the job that you plan in your proposal. So very simply, we will address this point in the proposals that you will submit under the implementation criteria. So we will validate your experience, your competence, the technical expertise, and so on under this criteria. So you will see in the next slide that there is a part dedicated to this in the proposal directly itself. Financial capacity. Like for the previous one, you need to have a stable and sufficient resource to carry on the work that you proposed. So here, our proposal is to use the FFC, the financial capacity check, is a tool available it's available to you through the EU portal. So there is a link below. You can find these tools and you can assess yourself to have, let's say, a score about your FCC, your financial capacity. So please do it ahead, before the submission, so you will know what's going to happen afterward. Meaning that if you have a low score lower than satisfactory, you will not be considered for the pre-financing. It's important, the pre-financing. You can be granted okay, the 60K award as we discussed, but if your FCC is low or poor, the pre-financing will not be given to you. So do that ahead, so you will know what's going to happen if you are selected. And then during the sub-grant agreement preparation, we will ask from you any relevant document like profit and loss, balance sheet, any audit report to help us complete as well this financial capacity check. And then we will see if you have a score satisfactory or not. And as I said, if it's lower, pre-financing will not be granted. Specificity of the call. Here it's important to know that every technology product that you will propose to us in this Cascade funding scheme, they will not be eligible if they are prohibited by international law. Sounds obvious, but it's better saying out loud. And again, it's not allowed also to propose a lethal autonomous weapon without the possibility for meaningful human control over the engagement decision. So those technology will not be considered. Likewise, you are not allowed to make what we call double funding. So if you already have a funding for the proposal you are proposing to us, you will not get the grant. So it will be part of the declaration of honor. You will declare that you did not receive all or any parts of your budget, of your claim budget under another EU grant. The last one is no conflict of interest. Again, a conflict of interest with major consortium partner is any situation when the impartial and objective performance of the work is compromised by any ties you will have with the partnership. So again, the applicant will have to sign the declaration of honor in that sense. All right. Now let's say you're well prepared, everything is in order, and you want to start your journey. Very well. What's going to happen? The first ground rule. So like any, let's say, EU grant, we will ask for a participation identification code, the PIC number. So it's a classical, huh? It's a 9-digit number that you can find. If you don't have it, you can find easily with the link below. Don't worry, it's to get a PIC number, so to get a registration in EU, it takes 10 minutes. Yeah? So it's very easy to have. So when you have it, you can register in the MaJoR submission portal. So you get into the MaJoR submission portal, you put your PIC, and then you can start. You can start your journey, as I said. And you will choose your topic. So the topic were presented by Julien, 5 topics. What you're going to do? You can do, let's say, 2 things. You can either apply for different topics. Imagine you have different technology, you have different solution. You can answer topic 1 and topic 2. This is fine by us. You can then propose 2 proposals. Very fine. What you cannot do is to propose several proposals to the same topic. What we want is the best technology that you have for one topic. So we will not allow several topics by the same several proposals by the same organization on the same topic. What we will do is we will keep and validate the last proposal we received from you on one topic. All right. Next slide, the portal. So the portal within the MaJoR project website, you have a space dedicated to the Cascade funding. We don't see it, it's not great. It's on the upper part on the right. You click on this button and you have access to the submission portal. Then you put your PIC, as I said, and then you enter. From there, you can download the submission package. The submission package is 5 documents. first document would be the proposal template, where you will answer to the, you will put your narrative and your innovation in it. We will see it. The cascade funding conditions, so it's pretty much all the rules, but I will talk about it later. Technical topics, we talk about it. Declaration of honor, we mention it, I will come back to it. And the model of subgrant agreement. So in a nutshell, you download 5 and you send us back 2. That's a good deal. 5 comes, 2 back. All right, remember that all the submission, all the proposals that you will send to us have to go through the portal. If it happens that you send to us by emails or by email of contact or help desk, your proposal, it will not be evaluated. It has to be stamped by the portal itself, so through the portal. All right, the proposal in itself. So as I said, you download the template. This one is a mandatory document. So obviously the proposal template, when it's complete, becomes the template. The template it becomes the proposal. You have 6 items, 6 parts. The first one is the administrative and legal information. Then instruction, obviously you can remove the instruction, and then the project, your project in itself. So here is a maximum page amount, page count, maximum 5 pages. For the other part, 1, 4, 5, 6, there is no page limitation. You will see that for the budget or the different self-assessments, they are fixed table. So do not worry about the page count. For the project, 5 pages. So as we said, as Marcel said, written in English, 5 page, and send it back to us through the portal as a PDF. It goes without saying, but I say it nonetheless. Send us your proposal before the deadline, obviously. Otherwise, it will not be evaluated. When it comes to the criteria of evaluation that you will find in the proposal, in the 5 pages of your narrative in the proposal. So 5 bullets, 5 points. Yeah, 1 page, 1 bullet. Excellence, innovation, competitiveness, EDTIB standing for EU Defense Technological and Industrial Base Autonomy, and implementation. So we discussed briefly a few slides ago, implementation, that's where you have to convince us that you can carry out the job that you're proposing. And you also could see that the weight are not exactly similar. So we put much more weight or much more point on the first excellence part and the second innovation part. So answer to all these bullet points, because all bullet points are mandatory because they will be evaluated. So answer to all these bullet points into the template, and then the expert, the reviewer, will assess your answer according to those specific points. Then the declaration of honor. So we mentioned it. It's also part of the mandatory document. So there is just 2 mandatory documents. That's the second one. Declaration of honor, it's all the elements that you need to confirm. For instance, I confirm that I am an SME. I confirm that I came from this country. I'm also confirming that I have I forget. I was about to say something, but I forget it. Conflict of interest. So classical stuff that you can find in this document. Then in the declaration of honor, you will also find the declaration of ownership and control. So it is also in this document that you need to mention that you're not controlled by an outside EU party. So this DOH declaration of honor must be completed and signed, submitted on time as a PDF on the portal. Then I go to the cascade funding condition. So this is we can say it's a main document. It's pretty much the core text if you want. In here, we have put everything we have created for this cascade funding, every rules, every process, every evaluation criteria, everything is there. So this is, let's say, the main document. That's a reference. So you can download it from the portal. Please read it carefully. We hope that all the questions you might have are answered in this document. But if it's not the case, obviously we will answer to the more of the question. But please, this is the main reference document. Talking about reference document, we have also the model subgrant agreement. So this model is a model of contract that will be signed between the recipient and the coordinator. So the applicant, you, when you will be granted the FSTP award, you will become a recipient, and then you will need to sign with the coordinator, NLA, on behalf on the partnership, this contract. For instance, the proposal that you will write will be part of one of the annex of this subgrant agreement. So please read it carefully. Again, it will be published tomorrow. It will be online tomorrow. Read it carefully because for transparency reason and fairness, we will not be able to negotiate this contract. Obviously, everybody will have the same contract, so we cannot negotiate one by one. So everybody has the same, and this one is a final document. So please read it carefully, so you will have, let's say, no surprise, or you are aware of what will happen when the grant will hopefully come to you. The evaluation. So Marcel already discussed about it. So I've just focused on one or two additional points. The proposal, it's important to understand the proposal. Your proposal will be evaluated per topic panel. So that's why it's important that you choose a topic, and a relevant topic, the topic that is more relevant to you, because it will be evaluated by experts within this panel. Okay, it will be evaluated from the first step to the last step within the same panel. As it is an evaluation per panel, we also mentioned that it would be 4 to 8 applications that will be selected for funding per topic. So I will go into a little bit much more detail in the next slide. As we say, five evaluation steps. The first one is the eligibility check. So we've seen in the previous slide that we have 9 criteria. If only one is not met, your proposal is not eligible and will be rejected. So if all the criteria are met, you go to step 2, and step 2 is the evaluation of your proposal. 2 evaluators from MaJoR and 1 external evaluator will assess your proposal according to the criteria that I mentioned just previously. Then came the consensus meeting. All the evaluators came up with a final score with comment. And then if you are above threshold, you will go to the interview, to the jury day, a 30-minute online interview with a jury of limited to the MaJoR partnership, where the motivation of your motivation, your company vision, and above all, the quality of the answer you might provide, especially question to the shortcoming. If you have shortcoming from previous steps, the quality of your answer would be assessed. And then step 5, the final ranking with the funding decision. I think we are almost at the end of the presentation. This is the last slide. So I put back the timeline. What additional information here? So the help desk. So if you have any question, please send us your question at open calls MaJoR project EU. We will not answer to any question that you will send us directly. So through personal email or through professional email or even phone call, we are not allowed to do so for transparency reason and also fairness. It's important to understand that we need to treat everybody equally. So if you ask a question, we will answer it, and we will publish the answer in the frequently asked question. Like today, we will answer not all of your questions because I think there could be plenty of questions. But the question we missed today, there will be answered and published in the FAQ. Again, the FAQ is part of the project website, MaJoR project website, and it will be updated regularly and closed 2 weeks before the deadline. That's pretty much it. I think I will conclude now. Marcel, if you want to,
Yes.
final word.
Yes, of course. Thank you all for your participation. I hope we have answered all your questions, and we really appreciate your positive attitude, judging by all the remarks you made in the questions in the. So please go to our site. There'll be more information there. Also, this very presentation will be there, and we hope we are looking forward to many submissions of proposals, and we'll inform you of the results in June. It will be posted on the website, and if you have any more questions, you know where to find us. It's at opencalls@major-project.eu, and we thank you for your participation, and we look forward to working with you. Bye for now.